Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. My name is Maebelyn Dela Peña, and I am one of the reporter for today's discussion. So, yung topic na i-discuss namin today is yung chapter 8 po sa ating libro entitled Financial Reporting and Management Reporting System. Wherein dito nga sa chapter na ito, mapag-aaralan natin yung General Ledger System, XBRL Re-engineering Financial Reporting, Controlling the General Ledger Financial Reporting System. Next one is the Management Reporting System. And lastly is the Data Analytics and Ad Hoc Reporting. So, in the last chapters, dun sa mga previous chapters, nagkaroon na tayo ng brief discussion about sa mga different subsystems. Wherein sabi nga before, si Accounting Information System, meron siyang tatlong subsystems. First is yung Transaction Processing System that comprises the expenditure cycle, conversion, and the revenue cycle na na-discuss na sa atin before ng mga previous reporters. Next one is the general ledger or financial reporting system, which is two closely related subsystems. And then lastly is the management reporting system. So, itong last two subsystems na ito yung i-discuss namin for today. But first, before we proceed sa ating main discussion, alamin muna natin yung mga different learning objectives that we should be able to do right after studying this module. So after studying this chapter, we should be able to understand the operational features of the general ledger system, financial reporting system, and management reporting system. Next one is understand the factors that influence the design of the management reporting system. Next is understand the elements of a responsibility accounting system. Be familiar with the financial reporting issues surrounding XBRL. And then lastly is be familiar with data analytics concept and techniques. So yung first topic natin is the general ledger system. So the general ledger system is characterized as a hub connected to the other systems of the firm. So summaries of the transactions processed by transaction cycles flow into the general ledger system and become a source of input for the management reporting system and financial reporting system. As I've said a while ago, si general ledger system is characterized as a hub connected to the other systems of the firm. Ito na yung representation nan. Wherein itong figure na to shows the relationship of the general ledger system to the other information subsystems. So itong billings, sales, cash receipts, cost accounting, accounts payable, cash disbursement, payroll, and inventory control, ito yung mga individual events na pinaprocess ni transaction processing system, nire-record sa special journals, and sa mga subsidiary accounts. And yung mga summaries ng mga transactions na ito will flow dito sa ating general ledger system. So, right after ma-reconcile and ma-process ni general ledger system yung mga summaries ng mga transactions na ito, it will create an output na siya namang magiging input natin for financial reporting system and management reporting system. So, you can see an arrow here. So, from the financial reporting system dito sa ating general ledger system. So, this shows that information also flows to the financial reporting system as a feedback dito sa ating general ledger system. Okay, we have here the journal voucher. So the journal voucher is a source of input to the general ledger. So this can be used to represent summaries of similar transactions or a single unique transactions. And it also can be used to identify the financial amounts and affected general ledger accounts. And also yung mga routine transactions, adjusting entries, and closing entries are all entered dun sa ating general ledger through the use of this journal voucher. Itong journal voucher na to, this is the document of every financial transaction. So nakapaloob dito yung identification number or account number, description ng business transactions, and even yung mga amount ng mga transactions and other things. So this is an example of the journal voucher. So we can see here yung account number, account name, and even yung amounts. Next one is the general ledger system database. So this general ledger system database includes a variety of files, whereas these will vary from firm to firm. Firm to firm, we have here the general ledger master file, general ledger history file, journal voucher history file, responsibility center file, and the budget master file. Okay, first is the general ledger master file. This is the principal file in the general ledger system database. So this is based on the organization's published chart of accounts. When we say chart of accounts, ito yung listing of all account titles with their corresponding account numbers. So yung mga record na meron dito sa general ledger master file can either be a separate general ledger accounts such as sales, or pwede ding control accounts such as accounts receivable control. Next is the general ledger history file. So same format lang naman sila ni general ledger master file. Ang kaibahan lang is that this one contains yung mga summary information ng mga transactions for the past period. So an entity is preparing this one to provide historical financial data for comparative financial reports. So bakit ba gumagawa ang isang entity ng comparative financial reports? So they are preparing this one to show or para alamin yung result ng operation ng isang business for multiple accounting periods, kung nagkaroon ba ng improvement or wala. Okay, we have here the journal voucher file. So nasabi ko na kanina kung ano yung journal voucher, and this one is the total collection of the journal vouchers processed in the current period. So it provides a record of all the general ledger transactions and replaces the traditional general journal. And the next is the journal voucher history file. So it contains naman yung mga journal vouchers for the past period. So it supports management's stewardship responsibility to account for resource utilization. Panglima is the responsibility center file. This responsibility center file, it contains the revenues, expenditures, and other resource utilization data for each responsibility center in the organization. The management reporting system uses this data to prepare the responsibility reports for management. So ginagamit natin ito to collect data regarding the revenues, expenditure, and other relevant sources of each responsibility center. When we say responsibility center, this is an organizational unit headed by a manager na responsible nga doon sa mga activities and result ng isang business entity. Okay, last one is the budget master file. This is connected doon sa ating responsibility center file. This one naman, it contains yung mga budgeted amounts na meron doon sa ating responsibility center file, like revenues, expenditures, and other resources for responsibility centers. Ito na yung basis natin for responsibility accounting, which will be discussed later on. As we have seen nga doon sa mga previous chapters, certain aspects of general ledger system update can be performed either as separate operation or pwede ding integrated with the transaction processing system. So yung focus na natin ngayon is to show yung interrelationship between the general ledger system and the financial reporting. This involves additional updates in the form of reversing, adjusting, and even closing entries. Next is the financial reporting system. Financial reporting system takes the form of standard financial statements, tax returns, and documents required by regulatory agencies such as the Securities and Exchange Commission. The primary recipients of the financial statement information is yung mga external users such as stockholders, creditors, and government agencies. So itong mga outside users na to, they are the one who has interest doon sa performance ng organization as a whole. So therefore, kailangan nila ngayon ng mga information that allows them to observe yung mga trends in performance over time, and they are using that one to make comparisons. So, kino-compare na nila ngayon yung performance ni isang entity to the other entity. So, given nga itong nature of needs nila, financial reporting information must be presented and in the manner that is generally accepted and of course understood by the external users. So, 'di ba maraming external users and usually iba-iba pa sila ng mga information na kailangan. So, because of this, financial statements are then targeted at a general audience. So, yung mga financial statements are prepared at a proposition on the proposition that audiences comprises sophisticated users with relatively homogeneous information needs. When we say sophisticated users, sila yung mga tao or mga users who understand the conventions and accounting principles that are applied and that the statements have information content that is useful. Then we have here now the financial reporting procedures. Kung familiar kayo dun sa accounting cycle na na-discuss na sa atin, first year pa tayo I think, eto din yun. So itong financial reporting procedures na to, it consists yung mga steps, procedures, or mga instructions na sinusundan ng isang entity. So, first step is capture the transaction. So, nagagather na tayo ng mga information about transactions or events based sa mga source documents, and within each transaction cycle nga, transactions are recorded doon sa kanilang mga appropriate transaction file. So, right after capturing the transaction, we will now record it in the special journal. So, here, nire-record na natin yung mga economic impact ng mga transactions on the firm doon sa kanilang mga appropriate journals. Kung frequently occurring transaction siya, like sales, ire-record natin siya sa special journals. And pag infrequently naman siya nangyayari, ire-record naman natin sa general journal or directly doon sa ating journal voucher. After recording, we will now post it doon sa subsidiary ledger. So, we will now transfer the information from the journal to the ledger for classification. So, yung mga details of each transactions are then now posted doon sa kanilang mga appropriate subsidiary ledger. Next, yung journal voucher nga kanina and yung summaries ng mga transactions na na-record sa special journal and yung na-post doon sa subsidiary ledger are then now reconciled and posted doon sa ating general ledger. So, right after posting, we will now prepare the unadjusted trial balance. So, this unadjusted trial balance is a listing ng lahat ng accounts from the general ledger at a point of time. So this one, it verifies yung debits and credits doon sa ating ledger. After preparing, we will now make adjusting entries. So we are making adjusting entries to reflect yung usually yung mga information ng mga economic activities na nangyari pero hindi pa nire-record. So, we are making this to correct yung mga balances ng mga account, correct yung mga errors, and i-record natin of course yung mga unrecorded transactions na nangyari during the period. So, after making adjusting entries, we will now journalize and post the adjusting entries. So, we are doing this para ma-record nga yung mga accruals, expiration ng mga deferrals, mga estimations, and other events from the worksheet. So, once adjustments are posted and journalized, we will now prepare the adjusted trial balance. So, dito sa adjusted trial balance na to, makikita na natin dito yung mga increases or decreases na nangyari and even yung mga accounts na wala kanina doon sa ating or hindi na record doon sa ating unadjusted trial balance. Etong adjusted trial balance na to will be used in the next step, which is prepare the financial statement. So, here prepare na tayo ng set of financial statements such as income statement, balance sheet, statement of changes in equity, and so on. Okay, step 10 is journalize and post the closing entries. Closing simply means that we will going to transfer yung balance ng temporary accounts doon sa capital accounts. So, here, kino-close na natin yung mga income accounts, expense account, income summary, and even withdrawal accounts. And right after journalizing and posting yung mga closing entries, we will now prepare the post-closing trial balance. So this is the last step na. This post-closing trial balance, it verifies that lahat ng debits and credits are equal sa ating trial balance. So it contains only na yung mga balance sheet items such as asset, liabilities, and ending capital dahil nga yung mga income, expenses, as well as withdrawal account is na-close na natin, therefore meron na silang zero balances. Oh, we are done with the topic 1. Now, nandito na tayo sa topic 2, the XBRL Reengineering Financial Reporting. So, XBRL means Extensible Business Reporting Language. So, ano nga bang XBRL? XBRL is the internet standard designed for business reporting and information exchange. So, this one is used to facilitate the publication, exchange, and processing of financial and business information. So, this is a derivative of XML or the extensible markup language that na-discuss natin mamaya. So, para mas maintindihan natin tong XBRL na to, we will answer these 5 questions. What is XRBL or XBRL rather? Who developed XBRL? Ano yung mga advantages nito? Who can benefit from it? And what is the future of XBRL? Okay, first question, what is XBRL? So, XBRL is a language for business and financial data which is revolutionizing business reporting around the world. So, this is usually ginagamit ng isang entity in reporting aggregated financial data, also in communicating information pertaining sa mga individual transactions. Questions, who developed XBRL? So it is developed through a process of collaboration between accountants and technologists from all over the world. So together, nasama-sama sila in forming this XBRL, which I think based sa nabasa ko, they are now made up of over 650 members siguro. Kasama na doon yung mga global companies, accountants, technologists, government, and even mga financial services bodies. So next, what are the advantages of XBRL? So XBRL kasi it offers major benefits at all stages of business reporting and even analysis. So yung mga benefits or advantages are usually nakikita natin or seen in automation, and this is also cost saving. So cost saving siya in a way that it enables yung mga producers and consumers ng financial data to switch resources away doon sa mga costly manual procedures to this cost-saving XBRL. It is also faster, more reliable in handling of data, and it improves analysis. Okay, next question, who can benefit from using XBRL? So the answer is all types of organization can use XBRL. Since XBRL nga is a flexible and extensible language, so kaya niyang suportahan lahat ng mga current aspects ng information in different countries and industries. So pwede natin siyang i-adapt in a wide variety of different requirements. So XBRL means Extensible Business Reporting Language. So from the word extensible, pwede natin siyang i-adjust to meet yung mga particular business requirement even at the individual organization level. And the last question is, what is the future of XBRL? So this one is set to become the standard way of recording, storing, and transmitting business financial information. And it will likely be the primary vehicle for delivering business reports to investors and regulators. So this is capable na of use throughout the world, whatever the language of a country is concerned. And this can be used nga for a wide variety of business purposes. So sabi ko kanina si XBRL is a derivative of XML. And ito na ngayon si XML or the Extensible Markup Language. So this XML is the meta language for describing markup languages. So from the word extensible, it means that any market language can be created using XML, and it can be also used to model the data structure of an organization's internal database. So itong meta language na to, this is a set of tags, codes, and codes that describe yung text in a digital document. So XML is a simple text-based format for representing structured information. And then we have here yung comparison of HTML and XML documents. HTML means Hypertext Markup Language. These documents can be downloaded by users kagaya ng Securities and Exchange Commission, mga financial analysts, and other interested parties. But ang problema lamang dito sa HTML is that these are not conveniently processed through IT automation. You can see here that HTML cannot be processed by the end user computer and they can only display the format. So, makikita niyo dito kung naka-bold ba siya, kung italic ba siya, and so on. Yung tags na meron si HTML, yung purpose lamang nun is to display data and focus how the data looks. While si XML kasi, it can be processed and recognized by the end user computer, relieving some burden currently placed on web servers. So, yung XML tags, it can be used to identify data. And meron din siyang purpose. So, yung purpose nun is to organize and store data which is good sa isang entity. So, okay. This is the end of my report. I hope na may natutunan po kayo kahit papaano. Keep safe everyone. Thank you for listening.